Yo, this is Nappy Boy Radio Live. Wish Boy T-Pain. We love rap music. Dr. Chris Brown here with the Specific Chiropractic Center, coming to you live on After Hours every Wednesday at 6:30. It's March 20th. This Wednesday at 6:30, and we are here rocking and rolling for another rendition of After Hours Live. With that being said, we have an awesome, fun evening ahead for you guys. We're going in on a lot more entertainment than health tips. What we got is our most embarrassing story in our first year of practice, respectively. The thing that pisses us off the most in the profession. And third thing, quick health. One in on this. We're going to be giving away a free massage tonight to one lucky winner. You got to be present to win. We got some people tuning in today, so whoever you are, wherever you're coming from, say what's up in the chat. Say hi. I want to see who's hanging out with us tonight. So, most embarrassing story of my first year of practice. When Grant asked me this, one story came to mind. I don't necessarily consider it embarrassing. It's just something that I don't share that often, and therefore, what it is. You guys able to hear me? You guys able to see me? Comment in the chat if you can say what's up and say hi. Y'all able to hear okay? Hello. Oh, we got some people saying hello. What's up, Jody? What's up, Cassie? I'm back. All right. So, embarrassing story. Embarrassing story was when Dr. Grant walked in on me butt naked in the clinic on a Thursday morning. The story behind that is my AC blew out on me one summer. And what's up, Emily? So the AC blew out on me over summer, and my apartment was 90 to 95 degrees, and it was awful. For people tuning in, we're sharing the most embarrassing story of our first year of practice. So my AC was blown out. I got back home after a clinic on Wednesday, and my apartment was 95 degrees, and I lasted, I think, about 50 minutes in that place. And so what I did was I got my air mattress, got my bag, and I went and slept in the clinic. Slept in the clinic that night. I did not think anyone had any patients scheduled or lined up, and so I just crashed in my office. Nights out, night, and I had my bag in the hallway. Then I set my alarm for about 8 o'clock. I was like, I'm sleeping through my little networking group. I'm giving Hey, I'm back. Yep. Yeah, Melanie, we were frozen. We're coming back, though. We're getting this thing figured out. It's a process. I don't know where you guys were, where I was in my story, but I crashed in the clinic one night, and I didn't think there was any patients scheduled for the morning. And at 7:45, I hear the beeper of the door go off, and the alarm starts going off. Now I'm crashing in the office with my air mattress on, and I'm just sleeping. And then I hear Grant go, "Brownie, you alive?" And I had my bag in the hallway, and then that's how he knew I was there. And then he opens the door on me, and I'm just sprawled out, spread eagle on the air mattress. But luckily the lights are off. I think he just peeked in. But the lights are off. But That was definitely a core memory from year one of practice of me spending the night in the clinic because my apartment AC wasn't working. That's a really funny memory. Number two, the thing that pisses me off the most about our profession is doctors that don't do what we're supposed to do, which chiropractic is supposed to be a system of adjusting settings of the spine by hand only for the correction of the cause of disease. And there are so many docs that get it twisted where they're like, oh, I need to diagnose someone with XYZ and I need to do essentially physical therapy on their hips, or I need to do acupuncture on their scap, or I need to do soft tissue on their shoulder. And we get so many calls from people that are all like, hey, do y'all do massage and acupuncture and active release and scraping and do all these things? And we're like, none of that's chiropractic. Zero. And there are schools that don't even teach chiropractic that say they're a chiropractic college, and the person gets Dr. Sam Hughes, comma, DC, and he doesn't even do chiropractic. And there are people that they just go out, and that's what society thinks chiropractic is essentially just physical therapy. And then you also have physical therapists that are getting chiropractic, that are learning how to manipulate areas of the spine for range of motion. And then they ask us, and I had a PT ask me, how do you do your manips? And I was like, what? Because their language is manipulations. Ours is adjustment. It's because we're adjusting for restoration of the nervous system. And there's only about maybe 4 chiropractic schools that teaches from a philosophical neurologic perspective. I have a friend who just graduated from Palmer West out in California. They learned zero about the nervous system. They learned everything from a range of motion perspective. And I was like, he didn't even know what upper cervical was. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm doing upper cervical. Yeah, exactly. Manips? Oh man, when she asked me that, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Who am I talking to? But my buddy doesn't even know what upper cervical is, and we have the same exact title. And it's like, how is there this much of a discrepancy in our profession when we literally have the same titles, same name? It's that gets my gears going, and just seeing docs do stuff that's not chiropractic, and then also thinking that their foot adjustments and their lower back adjustments are actually restoring the person back to how they properly should be functioning, and they don't even test for it. It's like, there's a lot of stuff that's jacked up. For health tip is actually kind of the one that I'm doing right now, which is being done eating 3 hours before sleep. That is like, I did not do that on Monday. Actually, we went out to dinner and I ate afterwards. So I was like, I don't think I eat enough. And I was a slug yesterday. But then as soon as I'm done eating before 6 the next day, I'm good, primed, ready to rock. So if eating late is something that you might struggle with and you're all like, and you might be just eating all the way up until bed, I bet you that's probably why you have a tough time falling asleep, staying asleep, and waking up brain fog and having a tough, slow day the next day. So if you're anything like me and you like being up tempo and clear and sharp, then maybe stop eating 3 hours before bed. That's what I got for you guys. We got another embarrassing story coming up. We also have a massage giveaway. You know the deal. You know how it goes down. And just like always, whenever the specifics is in town, it's going to be a good Wednesday. Take care. Awesome seeing you. We are back with
another doc. My name is Dr. Cameron Daniels, my friends. For those of you that other human in you that is literally trying to get the calories from you. So honestly, I wouldn't follow a very specific regimen. I wouldn't stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed for pregnancy. I would honestly just keep that up as normal whenever you feel the need to eat, because you really need those extra calories, and try to make them, especially if they're later in the evening. My big advice there is to make sure that they're actually cleaner calories. My most embarrassing story. Listen, guys, for those of you that don't know me, I don't really get embarrassed. I've I don't know. There's just a quality trait that I have. I don't get embarrassed. I'm just gonna be me. And if that is supposed to be embarrassing, sure. But to me, I just really don't get embarrassed. But I will tell you why I do not see patients at 7 o'clock in the morning. When I first started practice, I was like, oh, I will fit a patient wherever they need to go. I didn't really have any boundaries set up for myself, even though, I had a family at home that I needed to be with and stuff like that. Full transparency, especially in that first year, you're just really trying to, grow the clinic, take care of people in the the best way possible to be the best healthcare provider that they ever came in contact with. One of the ways I did that is I started seeing patients at 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, for me, I am a morning person. Even on the weekends, I still like to wake up early. That's just because it's quiet in my house. Daughters are asleep, wife is still asleep. So I do like waking up in the mornings, but I have a very specific evening regimen and a morning regimen that I like to follow. And what happened is I had a patient scheduled at 7:15, and we did very well all throughout his entire care process, where I showed up at 7 o'clock. But what happened is I actually had a day where my morning routine ended up getting longer. And when my morning routine got longer, I came to the clinic and he actually beat me to the clinic. That was embarrassing for me because I like to be here 30 minutes before I see my first patient for the day, at a minimum 20 to 30 minutes. And so for him, the fact that I got here at about 7:10 that day, opened up shop, and then he ended up, being at the door. I mean, that to me is just, it's embarrassing because I hold myself to a standard as a doctor, but I also learned that day. And since that day, I have not scheduled a patient at 7 o'clock, mainly because if it's one thing that I value, I value my mornings with my family. Okay. I could, especially because I'm up early enough, I could start seeing people at 7 o'clock in the morning. Me personally, I'm just, full transparency, I'm just not going to do it, because I would rather prioritize my family over, coming and rushing my morning routine to be here in the morning at 7 o'clock, and I'm not going to be fully there for my patients at 7 o'clock. So not in just fairness to me, but in fairness to my patients, I've actually stopped seeing patients at 7 o'clock in the morning, so that way I'm able to be right where I need to be when I be here at 8 o'clock, to be able to take care of patients and be at my best top value for them. The second thing, so the biggest thing, okay, I'm going to get on a soapbox for a second. I'm going to come right off it. My biggest thing that frustrates me in the chiropractic profession is the whole bait and switch model. For those of you that are patients, you all know, and for those of you who are patients, if you could confirm this in the comments, that way people can know this, we are very, very transparent about what care looks like before we get started. We do not believe in the bait and switch method here, where you come in, you pay for a $29 exam just to find out that there's a $5,000 care plan that you're going to have to pay for. We really value ourselves on transparency, especially when it comes to pricing. What frustrates me in the profession is that most chiropractors do not. What happens is they try to get you in there for some special offer. They try to get you in there for a cheap $29 exam, x-ray, and first adjustment, just to get sold on an extremely high care plan on the back end. For us, when we built this clinic out, Dr. Grant really wanted to make sure that we keep it as transparent as possible, and I've stood behind that, and Dr. Chris came in here, he stands behind that. We want to make sure that we're extremely transparent with you guys regarding to our finances in the clinic. The reality is we just don't know what that looks like until we run that scan on you for the consultation, which is why we do the consultation. But before we move forward, to make sure that everyone's transparent with it. What also frustrates me with the same bait and switch model is that And when you go to some chiropractic offices, you will finish care. You will go throughout a care process just to finish care to then be sold another care package, which doesn't make any sense to me, because does that mean that we messed up on the first end? Does that mean that the original visits that we had, prescribed weren't enough? So now I'm getting sold 24 more or whatever it is. That really frustrates me. And that's something that, again, for those of you that are on here, that are patients that have gone throughout an active care sequence, you understand. At the end of care, we're like, that's it. We've done exactly what we needed to do. And then, most people like to come in here at some form of frequency, whether it be once a month, once every 3 months, whatever it is, to get checked to be able to make sure they're holding their adjustment. But there is no package or care plan at the end of care, because all the care that we did on the front end was supposed to get you sustainable to be able to live life out there way more than we are in here. That's the thing that really frustrates me about our profession. And really grinds my gears, if you'll say. My health tip. My biggest health tip is going to be for the parents out there. For the people that are listening to this and you think that you cannot do something because you have kids, especially for the fathers, I'm telling you, my friend, you can. You may be making stories. For me, for myself, the biggest thing is what I've realized is whatever I sow into the morning, that sows into the rest of my day. For example, I know some men that are like, oh, I just don't have time to read scripture. I just don't have time to read the Bible. That's not true, because I can guarantee you, if I do have my phone on me. I guarantee you that if you looked at your phone and you went to time screen or timeshare, whatever it's called, screen time, I would see at least 15 minutes in there where you could have read scripture, where you could have read the Bible. I could have seen 15 minutes in there that you could have invested or sown into your kids. For me, I want to be able to let the people that are know, women are typically very, very good at this. They're very in tune. Men, we tend to be very, not open. We tend to be very closed. We tend not to want to step into the role of shepherding our families. For the men that's listening to this, genuinely find time to be there and be present with your family, and most importantly for yourself as well. And the reason why is because we need you for your family. Your family needs you to be there at the best capacity possible to serve them. Okay. I can't work out. I don't have enough time to work out. When you wake up in the morning and you hit the floor, start doing 100 air squats. Like, you can do something. And I'm not trying to, get on my high horse at that either, but I was trapped in that model for a very long time of, I can't do something because I have children. Now, there are some things that I just won't do because I have kids. I will not see patients at 7 a.m. because I have children. Because me personally, I would rather see my children up than be in the clinic at 7 o'clock. That's for me. Some fathers may not want that. But for me, that's something that I do. So you have to understand what that balance is and then commit to that balance. Before I leave, make sure that you download our app. It's called The Specific Centers on the App Store. The Specific Centers on the App Store. It's on Google Play and Apple Store. And then also, if you want a free massage, make sure you comment below, say I do. Last thing, if you are listening or if you are watching this on YouTube and you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and press the thumbs up on that, because it really helps the algorithm. I will say it every single Wednesday until I go blue in the face, because we're really trying to grow something here to be able to help not only not only you, but also fellow Arkansas as well. So we appreciate you guys. Skylar, what's up, my friend? Miss you and Grace. You guys are awesome. And Terry, if she's watching. You all take care. I'll see you next week. God bless you.
What is up? Trying to adjust the mic here for us short people. Good to see everybody. Looks like a lot of people trying to win a massage tonight. We're giving away that. And if your name gets drawn and you are present, you are going to win that. Looks like we got Miss Melanie, Miss Emily, Skylar, Cassie, Pam, Terry, Kelly, Karen. Good to see all you guys. Miss Jody as well. We're jamming out on a couple of things here. And I got to tell you, it's really fun listening to some of the guys' embarrassing moments. I'm going to try not to disappoint here because I've got, having been in practice 9 years, I've got several times where it's one of those things or one of those times in life where you're like, man, that was embarrassing. The one that sticks out to me, though, the most is my very first year in practice. I guess it was my first year. Maybe been towards the end of my first year, maybe at the beginning of my second year. For those of you who have been to our office, good to see you, Joe. We have a resting suite where we rest our patients after they get a correction and they rest for 20 minutes and then we post scan them after. So it was at the end of the day. It was actually around this time right now. It was actually around it was around 5:30, I want to say 5:45. And the gentleman's name was Jack. We'll just call him Jack. But I had checked and adjusted Jack, and Jack was resting in the resting suite. And I'm going about my business. I'm going around hey Cam, can you change my name up in the right hand corner to my name? I had checked and adjusted him, and he was resting, and I just went about wrapping up my day, kind of turning things off. And I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot about Jack in the resting suite. I totally forgot that he was in there resting, and I went as far as to literally turn off the lights in the office. And I got all the way to the back door, and I was like, oh shoot, Jack's still in the resting suite. So I nonchalantly flicked the lights back on in the office and went in there, and Jack was smooth asleep. Had no idea that I had even done that. And so I was in this conundrum of like, do I tell him? Do I say anything? Do I tell him I almost left him in the resting suite? And he almost woke up at 10 p.m. at night with the alarm off and like set the alarm off and got the authorities called. It was super embarrassing. I chose to just tell him. I was like, hey, Jack, you almost got left. And he was like, what? And I was like, you almost got left in the office all night long. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, you almost got left in here. It was embarrassing for me. It was super embarrassing. And I have yet to do that since. I have yet to forget anybody in the resting suite. In fact, I'm massively OCD about the timing. And if you ask my guys around here, I literally have an internal clock. I like 20 minutes on you have to look at the timer. It's so ingrained in me now. That was embarrassing. I've got several others, but that was the one that I just felt like would hit home the most. I think the other thing we were talking about was the thing that pisses me off the most about the chiropractic profession. I thought this would be an interesting thing to discuss because honestly, I think in any of our professions, no matter what it is that we do, there's a lot of stereotypes and there's a lot of things that get said about what it is that you do as a career. And there's also a lot of really bad apples that tend to spoil the bunch. So, look, let's be honest. There's a lot of shady accountants. There's a lot of shady lawyers. There's a lot of weird business owners in various categories. So it's not like the chiropractic profession's just like at large. Like there's a lot of things that just genuinely piss people off. But if you're a chiropractor within your profession, and if you're within your particular field, there's inherently going to be things that just piss you off, right? Well, like for me, it's really, really simple. One of the things that just grinds my ears, I hear you, Karen, most people could too, just spend the whole night in the resting suite. I always tell people sometimes we should just give you the key and tell you to lock up when you leave. But the one thing that just irritates me that I just want to put out there as like a disclaimer that is totally research valid and it pisses me off to no avail is when chiropractors say things like chiropractic is for everybody with a spine. When chiropractors go out there and say things like that and you hear this, I want you to know that that is complete bogus. That is a complete falsity because what research has actually told us is that according to research, there's a lot of research studies that have been done, but there's been one done here recently that stated that if there was 10 people who were checked for the necessity to need to see a chiropractor, in other words, there was something wrong with their spine, only 8 of them would actually need the chiropractic intervention. In other words, only 80% of people walking around on planet Earth right now, according to the research, actually are in a state where chiropractic is necessary for them, which then begs the question, what about the other 20%? That inherently means there's 20% of people out there who don't need a chiropractor in that particular state of where they are. we tell people all the time, like the intervention that we give you and the adjustment we give you, it can be detrimental if not done at the right time and at the right place. That makes a lot of sense to people. So the question is, can somebody be walking around right now on planet Earth without anything wrong with their spine and nerve system? In other words, they're walking around fully healing. A great example of this is the birthing process. A child, can it come out perfect from birth? The answer is yes. Overwhelmingly yes. In fact, in children, it's even less than that. It's closer to 70% need intervention and the other 30% don't, that actually have upper neck trauma. So one of the things that just inherently pisses me off that I'm putting out there as a disclaimer for you is that statement is totally false. It's why the actual examination and the testing process makes sense, and it's why it's necessary, is to rule out that this person actually needs this. I'm going to give you a prime example of this. Does everyone who goes to who has teeth need a dentist? Now, the answer is maybe. Everybody needs to be checked by a dentist. Not everybody needs an intervention from a dentist. If you've done your due diligence of getting your teeth cleaned and cleaning your teeth and flossing, you may not need an intervention from a dentist. And that just makes sense because it's very much the same in chiropractic. Not everybody who walks into a chiropractic setting or calls or has pain or has an issue, all that just automatically assumes they need chiropractic. That's just, according to the research, according to the literature, it just couldn't be any further from the truth. So we're all about speaking truth, transparency, and facts here on our show, about like sharing and empowering you to make smart choices relative to your health and well-being. And one of those is 80% of people need chiropractic intervention. Now, 100% of people need to be checked. 100% of people need to be checked by a chiropractor. But that doesn't necessarily inherently always mean that 100% of those people need an intervention. And according to the literature, it actually states 80% do, which means 20% are walking around out there, and good for them. And most of them are probably our patients that don't need a chiropractic intervention. So they're fixed, their issues resolved, and they're walking around and they're doing really good. And they know that to be a fact. And really the only way to know is to have specific testing done, just like having your teeth checked, just like having heart. I have a news flash for you here. Not everybody who goes to a cardiothoracic surgeon gets quadruple bypass surgery. There's a criteria for that. Like, just because you have chest pain doesn't necessarily mean that, all right, let's open them up. Like, there's criteria for that, right? So in our office, much the same. In a dentist office, much the same. I'm off my Grant rant. I got another show. It's called Grant's Rants. I just gave you guys a little insight into that. That was a Grant rant for you. I'm done. Grant rant over. Last thing, health tip. Inflammation, by far and away, according to the research, we know this, is one of, if not the number one cause for most of the chronic health conditions we see, of what's called the 4 horsemen: high blood pressure, cancer, diabetes, heart disease. These are the 4 horsemen of issues that typically lead to early onset death. And I want to say that it's very much known in literature today that inflammation is one of the big markers for that. You can actually have that done in blood work, and you can look for inflammatory markers. You can look at markers within your blood work that show if there's inflammation or if there's a prevalent inflammation. A1C is a good way to look at that. But there's a really good way to reduce inflammation. There's a really good way to do it that's a very easy and very cost affordable way. We've alluded to it several times on this show, but just doing an intermittent fast. Just doing intermittent fasting reduces inflammation. It increases your increases your immune response. So if you don't know what inflammatory, or if you don't know what what inflammation state you're in, you can definitely have that checked in your A1C levels and in your blood work. But if you're one of those that's like, hey, I just want to reduce inflammation as much as possible, and I recommend that you try to do that. Diet is a big one as well, eating non-inflammatory foods. But a really good way to kickstart that is to do intermittent fasting. What that looks like is very simple. You have eating windows of time and you have closed windows of time. So we've talked a lot about like doing 24, 48, 72-hour fast. That's a very extreme version of it. And you can work your way up to that. And that's certainly a good way to do it and boost your immune function. But the best way is to just create windows. Hey, I'm going to start eating at 10 and I'm going to close my eating window at 5 p.m., which means I'm fasting from 5 p.m. until 10 a.m. the next morning. And you just don't eat. Like Chris was alluding to, his tip, is that he stops eating, I think he said before 6. Yeah, so he's done eating before 6. That's because he's closing that intermittent fasting window. That is one way that you can really boost immune function. You're out there and you're trying to burn fat. It's also a really good way to burn fat. It's also a really good way to increase your metabolic activity. It's a way to reboot your immune system. Let's give away some stuff. Somebody hand me the cup there. We're going to give away a massage. Who's ready for a massage? It's really funny too, because another Grant rant, like it's doctor. Actually, I have this cup because that's another thing that really pisses me off. What does doctor even really mean? Right? Like, I would give up my DR name if it meant I could still be a chiropractor. Just a disclaimer. I'm Grant Dennis DC on the end, meaning Doctor of Chiropractic. It's just what they call it. It's like MD, medical doctor. But if they were like, oh, you're not a real doctor, you don't prescribe meds, get out of here, take your doctor, I'd be like, dude, cool. So what? Like, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that I get to practice chiropractic. And chiropractic, if you know, so just because we're not dishing, you know, drugs and surgery doesn't mean that we're not a doctor. Like that's so. Anyways, it's doctor actually. We're gonna choose out of this thing. Got lots of names in here. You guys can see this here. Yep, we already got people saying me, I do, me, tell me to pick my name. Everybody who has we're actually gonna do this a little differently on the next show. We're gonna start having you guys actually put your name in your name and email and phone number into something so we can create a digital canasta, which is like a spinny thing. You can pull names out at random so we don't have to always choose from this thing. And we have to constantly keep adding names to it by hand. So that's super annoying. So that's down the pipeline. You guys ready to do this? Ready to do this? Let's rip it. I'm gonna reach in here and the name. And so they have to be present. Look, I think Chris last week said somebody wasn't present, so that means that it rolled over from last week to this week. If this person is not present, then that means we roll it over to next week. And I'm gonna add something else next week too. All right, here's the name. Here it is. Let's open her up. The name is. There's not a name on this one. There's literally not a, there's like no name. It's just a white piece of paper. So false alarm on that one. Let's choose another one here. Let's choose another one here. Let's see. All right. This one for sure is going to have a name. Nicole Schweitzer. Nicole Schweitzer, SCHWEITZER. Chris is going to put that up to the camera. Nicole Schweitzer. Is Nicole Schweitzer here? We're going to give Nicole Schweitzer a minute. That's great. Look at basically, just post the back of that one there. There's like nothing on that. There's like nothing. Nicole Schweitzer. I'll tell you what, here's what we'll do. We'll draw up multiple names tonight. You pick 3? Okay, cool. So Nicole Schweitzer's got a little while, and then we're going to choose a different one. Nicole Schweitzer's not here, because if she was, she would have commented. So we're going to pick a different one. Let's see here. What do we got? Here's one here. It's a big one. Beatrice Hernandez. Dude.
Yeah. What's going on, everyone? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Oh, he's back. Here we go. Just give it 1 second. But Beatrice Hernandez, if you are here, comment here.
All right. Beatrice Hernandez. Got right there in the freaking giveaway. Beatrice Hernandez, are you here? That's the second time a Hernandez crew has I think the Hernandez crew was on the original iPad, but wasn't here to win it. And Tammy Downham ended up winning. So I'll tell you what, we're just gonna draw a different one. We're gonna do 2 more. We did 3 last time. We're doing 2 more. Carlos Trevino. Ooh, is Carlos Trevino here? He normally is here. Ashley and Carlos. Carlos Trevino, are you here? Carlos Trevino. Is Carlos Trevino here? Dude, we're going to keep drawing until somebody wins tonight. Carlos Trevino. All right, let's see here. That is tough. Tia Wayman. Tia Wayman. T-Y-A Wayman. Yeah. We're gonna keep doing this thing. We're gonna keep doing it. If we get multiple winners to pop on, we're gonna keep doing this thing. Where are all these people? Zachary Downham. The Downhams are like the Melanie Alberts of the world. They just keep getting their names drawn. Zachary Downham. We're gonna keep going. Sherry Lloyd. She got picked last week, they say. Holy smokes. Oh, this is crazy. Somebody's winning tonight, all right? Another Hernandez. Evelyn Hernandez. All right, we're doing this. Anybody who said I do in the comments, let's do the random number generation and we'll go down and we'll figure out how many. So how many do we have that said? Put in I do real quick in the comments. Be like, I want to win. Put I do. Drop I do real quick. Because what we're going to do is I think we got quite a bit of those. I think we got quite a bit of those. Just comment I do. I want to win.
Yep.
I want to win.
Perfect.
There we go. Now we got some. So literally what we're going to do, let's do the random number generation. Somebody's winning that massage. I'm tired of rolling it over.
So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Michelle Price, Pam Prince, Emily, Cassie, Melanie, Karen, Jody, Grace, Joe, Kelly. Got some. Somebody, one of y'all is gonna win here.
Guys, can you guys hear me okay? So let's see. Give me a random number between 1 and 12.
Can't see it.
2.
Who's the second one? Kelly, I think.
Kelly
is the idea. Is that who Kelly? Last name is this Kelly Simmons? Is that you, Kelly Simmons? Oh, Kelly. That's got to be Kelly Simmons.
She's here for sure.
She was here a second ago, literally within minutes. Kelly, say I'm here. Yep, Simmons. There it is.
There it is.
Kelly Simmons. There's a winner. Nice. I was about to. We got to have a winner tonight. We're not. Congrats, Kelly. She is here. You have won the massage giveaway, folks. Every week we do this every Wednesday at 6:30. You can count on it again. We're gonna give it away something else again next week. The best part is we got to keep you on your toes about what it is, but it's always usually something of at least $100 or more in value. Every single time. Every now and then we throw in an iPad. Every now and then we throw in, maybe some Razorback tickets. I don't know. What's that? Yeah. So Kelly, swing in the office whenever you can and come redeem that. That massage is all yours. So, yeah, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight, folks. Until next Wednesday. Hey, by the way, comment. What do you guys want us to give away? Let's get a little 5 minutes here. What do you got? Put in the comments. What do you want us to give away? What would be like a killer giveaway that's around $100 to $200 to $300 in value? Like what, obviously the iPad, we'd love to give away an iPad every week, but that's just unrealistic. It's just, honestly, we would we're already breaking the internet at, 25 people on. So if we did that every week, we might as well just replace channel 7. We might as well just replace channel 4 and just have a news station because not even channel 7 does that. But anybody got anything they want to drop in here as like a giveaway? This would be a killer giveaway. Favorite places around town? No? All right. Everybody's stumped. Now you guys see why it's so hard for us. Now you see why it's so hard for us to come up with giveaways. All right. We will brainstorm. We'll get back to you next Wednesday. Of course, every single Monday we release that. Karen says more massages. Can never go wrong with a good massage. that's gonna wrap us up until next Wednesday. Y'all have a fantastic week. As always, here at the Pacific Chiropractic Center, our vision is to make Arkansas the happiest, healthiest place in existence. And we're on a mission and we're on a vision. We'll see you guys. Bonefish, Karen, you have an invite probably to Bonefish here pretty soon. Keep a lookout for that. See you guys next week.